Bella Rita, caffeine flowing. Dan, you know what time it is. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, you've been wonderful. Bella Rita, however, thinks it's in my contract to make me do horrible things. Bella, over to you. As you may or may not know, what's about to happen is Bella Rita, co-host of Heart of Influence, is about to put me on the hot seat. We do this as an illustration of the superpower of influence. I have no idea what's going to happen. She has some examples that are a little silly and fun. Sometimes they're super powerful. They're like resolving huge world problems. But whatever it is, I don't know what's going to happen. And we let guests on the Heart of Influence select which of these things to put me, quote unquote, on the hot seat to see how I do effectively on going from hello to yes about something in 3 minutes. Super powerful exercise, illustrates so many principles of the unblinded formula. Here comes Bella.
It most certainly is. And this is my favorite part of the show because this is the time in the show that I get to put my co-host, Sean Callagy, on the hot seat in a scenario that he has no idea about. Because, Tom, it's a little payback. You got thrown into the hot seat. I'm going to get him back for you. Where he has to choose, or excuse me, I have 3 scenarios, Dan, that you get to choose from that Sean can go from hello to yes on. You can choose one of my scenarios. You can change anything about my scenarios, or you can scrap my scenarios altogether. Are you ready to hear what I have for today?
Yes.
Just unmute for me, Dan.
Sorry, yeah.
There we go. All right. Option number 1 is I thought Sean could role play you going from hello to yes with the Pope on the value of medicinal mushrooms and asking the Pope for the Pope's support in supporting mushrooms. So that is option number 1, Dan. Option number 2 is I thought Sean could role play Ashley or Michael going from hello to yes with Oprah to do an Oprah Soul series on their book to raise money for their foundation and have them on the Oprah show. So that's option number 2. And then option number 3 is I was actually reading that Harrison Ford lived on an 800-acre ranch in Jackson, Wyoming, which he donated half of the ranch to a nature reserve. So I thought option number 3, which it seems like Emily is a fan of, option number 3, Emily, quiet, is that Sean would role play Oliver going from hello to yes with Harrison Ford to ask Harrison Ford to partner with him to raise the $10 million for the Wolf Reserve. So those are the 3 options I have for you today, Dan. Any of those tickle your fancy, or do you got something much harder you'd like to see the boss man do?
Well, I really like the 3rd one, but the Pope one sounds pretty hard. So that's, I don't know how you get to the Pope, but I'm sure Sean could. So let's go with the Wolf. Let's go with Harrison Ford. Let's do that.
Oh, you saved him. Now he's going to think that you like him better than me, Dan, because you didn't make him do the Pope, but I completely understand. Who would you like to play Harrison Ford?
Let's have Michael.
Michael, are you up for playing Mr. Harrison Ford?
Certainly.
So, Sean, you're going to role play Oliver going from hello to yes with Mr. Ford on partnering to raise the $10 million for the Wolf Reserve. That's what you call it.
Awesome. Okay, so, and I am playing who?
You are playing Oliver.
I am playing Oliver. Okay, so hello, is Mr. Ford available?
Yes, this is Mr. Ford.
Hey, Mr. Ford, this is Oliver. We had a 3-minute conversation scheduled for today. Is this still a good time for you?
Yes, this is good.
Yeah, Mr. Ford, I know that you know who you are. I just want you to know that I certainly know who you are, and I have much gratitude for you taking this time. And I will keep it to our 3 minutes. And with the 2 minutes and 40 seconds or so we have remaining, may I please ask what prompted you to say yes to this conversation in the first place? I'm thrilled, but what was the why behind it, please, Mr. Ford?
So I was a little intrigued, and that's really what it comes down to, just intrigue.
Okay. And may I ask, like, what was intriguing to you? I've, heard
many of your talks. I've seen all of your movies, but I do know that you have this massive heart for nature. Your position in Call of the Wild, and was, to me, one of the most extraordinary renditions of nature and humanity ever. But is that what's sort of at the core, or what was intriguing to you, please, sir?
Yeah, that's it at the core. And my love of nature for sure. And then, hearing specifically about something related to wolves, I just wanted to find out more.
Sure. So from that place, Mr. Ford, can I share a couple quick things in our final minute or so?
Okay.
Yeah. So, Mr. Ford, I am very present to your love of nature. And what I'm also present to is that most folks would ask you to donate money. And you probably think that's what this conversation is about. But Mr. Ford, I met through this guy, Dan Ailes, this very interesting group of people led by Sean Callagy that have created some startling amounts of fundraising. And they begin by talking about how we can help you and your foundation raise more money for it. And so, Mr. Ford, all I'm simply proposing to you is a follow-up 30-minute conversation where some folks that have raised money for some high-profile people, some of which you would clearly know, to the tune of tens of millions of dollars, by actually helping them support their own causes first. Because if you think about it, one of the great challenges for charitable causes is people pick up the phone and call amazing people, people not typically as amazing as you, but say, hey, would you, we have a great cause. Would you like to give to it? The money goes to efficient, outcomes. And everybody hears that. So how do you create differentiation? And the way you create differentiation is to support the causes that people are raising money for themselves. So, Mr. Ford, very simply, we know that you have a myriad of different causes that your foundation supports and helps with. And all I'm simply proposing is that we would have a 30-minute follow-up conversation. And by the way, we guarantee for your time a $50,000 donation for your foundation to make sure you know that we're serious people, not wasting your time, to see if there's something more we can do together to cause wolves to be rescued and your causes, Mr. Ford, to bring brought forth in the world. So please, sir, how would it resonate with you or not to have a follow-up 30-minute conversation with us?
Yeah, I like your approach. It's definitely not the traditional call that I get all the time. And so I do appreciate that. And I would be interested. Yes.
Yeah, well, thank you, Mr. Ford. And your assistant, Tom, had set up this meeting. Shall I set up our follow-up with him?
Yes, please.
Yeah, well, thank you. I really appreciate you. And I think this is going to be well worth your time. It's been an honor, and have a tremendous day. Thank you.
You as well.